Today on our meeting agenda is to talk about middle school. Now, typically when we're back at Lisbon, we do a lot of things together to kind of prepare for that transition to middle school. I know we can't be together in our building, but I want you to know we're still going to work together to prepare for that transition. Today, I have for you a special screencast that's going to give you tons of information that you need to know about transitioning to middle school. And the inbox that we have in Canvas is going to be like our best friend. What I want you to do is anytime you have a question, I want you to inbox message me. And I promise I'm going to go through those messages and I will get you the answers that you need. For anything that I don't know, I'll be working with the middle school counselors over at Glenwood Middle School to find the answers for you. Now, what I want you to do right now is I want you to get your calendars out and I want you to mark them for June 8th. Right now, June 8th looks like the date where Glenwood Middle School is going to be doing a special virtual visit with them. I don't know all the particulars yet about how that's going to work. We will find out more in the next few weeks. But I do know that June 8th is going to be the special release date where you're going to be able to see what the building looks like and who the people who work there are, and to find out more about middle school. We might not be able to get into the building and take the bus and do the full field trip like we usually do, but what we're going to do is we're going to do it as well as we can virtually so that you can see what your new place for education is going to be like. Now, sit back, enjoy, and know that you have this screencast whenever you want to go back and review information. And remember, inbox me with any questions you may have. Here we go. Now, you might be surprised to see what it says at the top of my screen right now. It says Class of 2027. Well, 2027 is the year that you will graduate from high school. From now on, you will be referred to as the Class of 2027. And one fine day in May of 2027, you will hear your high school principal say, "Congratulations to the Class of 2027," and your loved ones and friends will cheer. First, we have some work to do. Let's talk about sixth grade. Well, what do you think? Are you ready for sixth grade? What are some of the feelings that you might have about moving on to sixth grade? This presentation is going to give you some information to help you feel more prepared. It may not take care of all the nerves you might be feeling, but hopefully it will make you feel more confident and more reassured that sixth grade is going to be a fun and exciting adventure. Now let's talk about schedules. When it comes to schedules, it's really important to know a few different things. All sixth grade students take 7 classes, and all the classes are 50 minutes long. You have 30 minutes for lunch every day, and I'm sorry to say there is no recess. However, if you finish lunch early, they do let you go outside to hang out with your friends. It's important to note that your start time for middle school is 7:40 a.m. Start time means in the building, seated, ready to work. End time for middle school, because you start so early, is 2:25 p.m. Think about how much earlier you're going to be home. That part is kind of fun and exciting. Now let's talk about lockers. All students seem to want to know how many times you get to visit your locker during the day. When we get back in the building and you're in your Glenwood Middle School, you are going to have 4 opportunities to visit your locker. Once at the beginning of the day when you come into the school building, once before lunch to put your books and things away so you can go to lunch, once after lunch to get the things that you need for the afternoon of classes, and once at the end of the day to pack up for dismissal. So, how do you read a middle school schedule? And how do you take this information and move from there? There will no longer be an A or B day schedule. I know if you have older brothers and sisters, you've heard about A days and B days. Well, things are going to be a little different. Related arts are done quarterly, meaning each quarter your related arts classes change. Students will have their core classes, ELA, math, science, social studies, every day, all year. The other classes will make up your schedule are based on performing arts if you signed up. And performing arts is the fancy way of saying band, chorus, or orchestra. For some of you, you chose to take those classes. For others of you who didn't, you'll have different classes instead. There's also teacher input from your fifth grade teachers, as well as input from you and your parents that were shared with the middle school so they could place you in the classes that would be best. So it's important as you get ready for this transition to stay organized. You have a new place for school, you have a new routine, and it's important to be as organized as you can be. Remember, keep a daily schedule. Maintain a clean, neat bedroom and locker. Write down all assignments in one place. Keep all supplies for one class together. And organize and label supplies. Although it's okay every once in a while to borrow a pencil from a friend, we cannot be doing that every day in middle school. So, Canvas. And lucky for us, we have a little bit of experience with that. Remember, Canvas is an online learning tool. It actually is really cool, and you have had some practice during our virtual learning with using this. In Canvas, you can check your assignments, find resources, turn in assignments, and participate in discussions. You can even make videos, all with Canvas. Canvas has been a really helpful tool during this period of online learning as well. So for next school year, expect Canvas to be a big resource and a way for you to communicate with your teachers and your classmates. Now, let's talk the Canvas dashboard. The dashboard is where you can look at all your classes. You can see if you have any notifications. Each class has its own square on your dashboard. To open a class, you click on the square. When you see a number next to the speaker icon on the bottom of each square, that means you have an email from your teacher for that class. Here's the home page for a class that I took, Spanish for Educators. When you click on one of your squares, you open your class. Take a look at the left side of the page. There are links to everything you need for your class. Assignments, modules. Remember, modules are the material that you will be learning. Discussions, assignments, a link to your Google Drive, and your grades. Now, let's focus on grades for a moment. This is one student's grade for one class. Notice at the bottom of the page, homework, tests, quizzes, and classwork are all part of your grade. On the left, you can see each assignment listed. In the middle, you see the date, and then there are two columns. The first column is your score, and the second is the possible number of points for that project. If you see a dash in your score column, it means the teacher did not grade your work yet. It looks like this student completed all of their assignments so far and has a 95%, an A for the class. Canvas has a feature called What If Grading, so you can see what your grade in that class would be if you don't do so well on a test or missed an assignment. Let's see what happens to the student's grade if they got a 50% on a quiz. If the student got a 50% on a quiz, the grade would drop significantly. In this case, the student's grade fell from a 95% A to an 87% B. Preparing for tests is really important. Take a look at these study tips on the next slide to help you out. Go to class every day. The number one best thing you can do is to get good grades is to be present in school. Whether school is virtual like it is now or in the school building like it will be again. Your teacher teaches class during class. Teachers will tell you just about everything you need to know during class. If you miss a class due to illness or an emergency, don't worry. Contact student services to get help making up work. But if you're well and you're feeling okay, be in school. Here are two more ways of getting your homework if you're absent. You can check your teacher's Canvas page, and you can also find what we call Homework Buddy in each of your classes. You can call or text them if you're absent or forget to write down your assignment. Okay, you prepared, or maybe you didn't. You understood, or maybe you didn't. You did pretty well, or maybe not. After you get your graded test back from your teacher, you will often get the opportunity to do what is called test corrections. That's when you redo the questions that you got wrong for half credit. Let's go back to the student who got a 50% on their quiz. If they did their test corrections, they could bring their 50% up to a 75%. That would bring their 87% B back up to an A for that class. Now, let's talk lockers. How in the world do you open a combination lock? Some of you might already know how to open a combination lock, but many of you may not. Learning how to open a locker can be a big worry for fifth graders getting ready for middle school. Remember, knowledge is power. Watch the video on how to open a combination lock. Then, check if you have a combination lock at home that you can practice with. Remember, practice makes better. It might take you several tries before you get the hang of it, but I promise that you will get it. Watch the video as many times as you need. If you get frustrated while practicing, stop, take a deep breath, and ask someone at home who knows how to open a lock for help. You've got this. Now, let's see how this works.
Step 1. Have him start by turning the dial 2 full turns to the right, so he passes 0 twice. Keep turning until you get to the first number in the combination, 12 in this case, and stop when it lines up with the triangle at the top of the lock. Step 2. Have him turn the dial a full turn to the left. He'll go past the first number in the combination. Make sure he stops at the second number in the combination, which in this case is 14. Step 3. Have him turn the dial to the right until he gets to the last number in the combination. Now, pull down the lock and it should open. If it doesn't, encourage him to take a deep breath and go back to the beginning and try again.
Now, you can go back and watch that video that we just saw as many times as you need to. But remember, if you feel stressed out, you need to take care of yourself first. You can always go back to lock opening afterwards. So there are many things we can do to help reduce the stress that changes can bring on. So think about all the coping skills to use when you feel stressed or overwhelmed. Write them down and mark the ones with maybe a star or highlighter to show the ones that work best for you. You can breathe deeply, talk with a trusted friend or adult, exercise, go for a walk, run around, tighten and release your muscles, think positively, or laugh. There are so many more stress-reducing activities you can do as well. Remember, if you're having trouble figuring out what to do to reduce that stress, inbox me. I've got more ideas for you. You just need to reach out to let me know. Now that we've covered all of this information, it's time to explore on your own with our middle school scavenger hunt. You'll see I have provided a link to the Glenwood Middle School website. Click on the link to find the answers for your scavenger hunt. If you get stuck, reach out to your classmates. I encourage you to try and do this together. If you can't coordinate to do this with a friend, invite a family member to do this with you. Exploring middle school is so much more fun when you have someone to explore with you. We did it! We reached the end of all the information I had to share with you today about your transition to middle school. Remember, anytime you need to, you can revisit this screencast and all the information will be here. Have fun with your middle school scavenger hunt. And remember, inbox me with any questions or concerns. I am still here for you and ready to help. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.